I grew up in a very religious home. Anyone here grew up in a very religious household? Grew up Pentecostal mother. When people always ask me what that's like, the best example to describe my mom is when I was 12 years old, the first Harry Potter book came out. I really wanted to read it. But my mom was like, hey, you know you can't bring any books in this house without me reading it first. So she took it, read the first page, and threw it in the trash can. And I was like, Mom, why would you do that? And she goes, you see this? You see what this book is? This is satanic propaganda. See, in the first page of this book, a woman turns into an animal. And that's the devil's way of letting you know that if you worship him, you can turn into an animal whenever you want. And that was the first time in my life I looked at my mom and was like, Mom, why the fuck are we Christians? So apparently, the Satanists are living the animorph lifestyle 24/7. And the only thing we do being Christians is be poor and vote against their own interests. What is the advantage here? So because of this house, because of this like lifestyle, I moved out the second I turned 18, solely so that I could read Harry Potter in peace. That's absolutely the truth. That was all I wanted to do. And my younger brother moved in with me because he wanted to fuck everything that moved. We're very different people. And my brother was like very excited. I remember this one woman he met at his work, and he kept talking about, man, this chick's awesome. She's 26 years old. She's so hot. I'm gonna nail it. And I was like, Joel, I don't need this right now. But he ended up bringing her home. He introduced him. Went in the back, had sex. I didn't mind. BioShock had just come out. Things were going great for me. And afterwards, my brother came out, and he was just like, they were kind of making small talk. She was waiting before she took off. And I didn't say to her, no, she had a lot of tattoos. So I was like trying to say something about that. So I was like, that's a cool tattoo. Because she had this one tattoo that just said, remember the 14 words on her leg. And I was like, what does that mean? What are the 14 words? She goes, oh, you don't know the 14 words? That we must ensure an existence for a people and a future for all white children? And I was like, are you sure those are the 14 words? Like, just pick any other 14 words. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't have to be a sentence at this point. Just please don't tell me those are the 14 words. And she's like, no, yeah, that's the 14 words. I'm like, oh, so that's like a Nazi tattoo you have on your leg there. She goes, no, that's not a Nazi tattoo. This is a Nazi tattoo. And she opened her shirt and flashed me and showed me this giant swastika she had tattooed between her chest that I eventually noticed. I'm not proud of that fact. It's a real forest from the trees type of situation, you know? But eventually I saw it and I was like, oh my God. Joel, my brother just had sex with a Nazi lady. And then she immediately was like, well, I gotta go, and she left. And I was like, Joel, you just had sex with a Nazi lady. And here's the first thing I gotta tell you. It's me and my brother Joel. My name's Anthony Lopez. We're both half Mexican. We grew up in a very heavy Mexican family, but we don't look Mexican at all. Because the only thing we have to prove our Mexican heritage, besides like all these great stories we have about our family and stuff, is our last name and the fact that we both grow the most embarrassing Mexi stashes you have ever seen. Like, we both just grow the most disgusting pubic hair out of your face. It's the only thing we got from our father. So you would never know that we're both Mexican. I was like, Joel, you realize you just had sex with like a Nazi woman. You can't do that. And he's like, here's the thing, man. Technically, I didn't know she was a Nazi till I was already inside of her. And at that point, you're a little pot committed, you know? I was like, all right, Joel, fine, whatever, but you cannot continue that. You should not have continued with it once you realized who she was. You should have kicked her out. And my brother looked at me and said, Anthony, if I kicked her out of my house and out of my bed because of who she is and what she believed in, I would be no better than her. Which isn't the worst excuse to fuck a Nazi woman, right? Like all relative excuses, it's pretty good, right? But I was like, Joel, you can't continue to have sex with this woman. And he goes, all right, here's the thing, dude. I think there's good inside of her. I think I can change her. And what that meant is he had sex with her for another month. That was it. Got her to eat a taco once. It was very strange. And she started hanging out a little bit more than me and my roommates were comfortable with. Because here's the thing, she was a hateful monster. Just the worst. And she would come over and she started hanging out, and one day she was like sitting there and we were watching TV and we wanted her to leave, and she was just saying some racist rant, and one of my roommates got really sick of it. So what he did was he goes, "Hey Lopez, pass me the remote." He said that to my brother. And she went, "Wait, is that like a joke? Why would anyone pretend, like make a joke that like you were Mexican? That's weird." And me and my brother looked at her and go, "Oh, you didn't know? We're both totally Mexicans." And she stood up, looked my brother in the face, and said, "You telling me I've been fucking a Mexican?" What she said in my house. It's a very crazy thing to say. Very offensive. But what's even crazier is right afterwards, what she said, I swear to God, was, "My father is gonna be so upset with me." Which brings up a great question. How the fuck does that come up? How is she gonna just over brunch one day gonna be like, "Hey, Dad, you know that guy I told you about who loves to go south of the border on me? Turns out, from south of the border." We're never gonna saw that twist coming. So she stands up and starts yelling at my brother for lying to her, for betraying her, for fucking her under wrong pretenses. And at this exact moment, my other roommate walks in, sees this woman yelling at my brother for lying to her, and he goes, "Oh, what happened, Joel? Did she find out you were only 16 years old?" Because my brother was only 16 years old at the time. Did I forget to mention that? So at this point, this 26-year-old Nazi woman screams just to the God. I swear to God, this is what she said. She goes, "You're telling me I've been raping a Mexican?" She yelled that. Which brings up an amazing question. Big follow-up from before, right? Does that make your father feel better or worse about this situation? Like, isn't it kind of a wash at that point? So, she just ran out of my house. And that's where that story ends. Fuck racist people. Thank you very much.